going on, guys? Hope you all are having a fantastic day today. I just wanted to thank each and every one of you who showed up on my video the other day and showed some support. I've been running into a few issues on my channel not being able to upload in 1080p, but thankfully I have resolved that issue and I really got my fingers crossed that I will never have to run into a situation like that ever again. That was the most stressful stuff I have ever dealt with. But yesterday's video was mostly just a rant topic. I really had to get some stuff off my chest because I was very angry with this title. So it was obviously not like my other traditional videos where I'm more calm and laid back. I was definitely pissed in that video, and you could tell. But now that I calmed down a little bit, I played some more of the game and everything like that, I have definitely come up with the easiest solution to make this game fantastic. Now, the number one thing I want to get into your guys' head is that Call of Duty Modern Warfare is not a bad game. A lot of people are 100% positive that this game is trash, but in reality, under its shell, it has a lot of potential. There's a lot of things in this game that are good. But the number one thing that I run into that is a huge issue for me is the flow of the gameplay. Now, map design is iffy with me, but I think I would enjoy the maps a lot more if I was able to stay unheard. The biggest problem with these maps for me right now is that there's a lot of routes, a lot of, positions that you can watch, a lot of angles that you have to cover, this, that, and everything else. But the main reason that these maps don't have any flow is because of the fact that you could be heard across the map. It encourages people to not move. It encourages people to not change their position. So people will hold a headglitch for the whole match. People will stay in the same building for the whole game. People will not move. And I can't blame you. Why would you possibly move when you hear an enemy? When I hear an enemy, my best strategy, and the best strategy for a lot of other players, is to just hold your location and wait for the enemy to pop up. You don't have to challenge the enemy if you don't necessarily have to. But in this game, the footsteps are so ridiculously loud that you can pretty much hear people like 2 to 3 buildings away. I'm not even over-exaggerating this. You could hear someone that is in 2 buildings over from you. And this whole situation comes down to that the flow gets destroyed. Now, if you didn't hear those people that were 2 buildings from you, you wouldn't have that issue. Then the person who's camping would automatically assume nobody's around them, and they would move to another position, and so forth down the line. They would probably run into that enemy that is 2 buildings down from them, and they would engage. But when you can hear the footsteps of enemies from so far, it turns into a situation where nobody moves. Because both of you hear each other. And when both of you hear each other, you both get into the same defensive motion. And nobody moves. And then it comes down to a patience game. Who can sit there the longest? Who can pre-aim that line of fire the longest? And whoever has the least patience and they finally give up and decide to push the sound effects that they heard, they will more than likely get gunned down. Now, I gotta say, I do enjoy some of these maps. Like the map that you're watching right here, this is probably by far my favorite map in this game. I forget some of the other maps. What was the one map with the warehouse in it? I forget the names. I'm sorry if I'm, not very knowledgeable of the names of the maps and stuff like that. But there are some good maps in this game. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, the majority of it comes down to the sound effects. How loud your person is stomping around the map. So first off, Infinity Ward has to lower the sound effects of the footsteps. They have to be lowered, and they actually did. I believe they lowered it a little bit more in the most recent update. I think I kind of can tell a difference, but I think it should still just be lowered just a tad bit more. I can still hear people a building over. I can still hear people around a corner across on the other end of the building. I can pretty much tell where someone is from their spawn point running to the halfway point just by sound whoring them if I'm in the right position, obviously. But that's not enough. Because for me, I'm a very aggressive player, and it comes to points where I just like to push 24/7. That's just how I am in all video games. Literally, when I play any video game, I am aggressive. I like to push. Whether it's Battlefield, I like to push. Rainbow Six Siege, I like to push. Even Doom. Doom is a very aggressive game, so I like to push, I just like to be aggressive when I play Call of Duty titles. That's where I get my fun out of the games. But it seems like they kind of, how can I put it? They just didn't make it very friendly for aggressive players, especially with taking Dead Silence out from being a perk and making it a field order where you don't have it on 24/7. Now, what I noticed is that when you do have Dead Silence equipped, you could play this game extremely aggressive. Like, hold on, I'm gonna flash up a clip really quick of me playing with Dead Silence on. Pardon me that, you know, I might just cut the sound off because the sound is a little rough in the background. So it's gonna be no sound in this clip, and then we'll clip back to the original gameplay that we had going on here. But Dead Silence makes a massive difference. Notice how nobody notices where I am. Notice how everybody's just running around blindly and have no clue of my whereabouts. It's because they can't hear me. In this game, you can tell the direction of an enemy just by a simple one footstep. They don't even have to walk far. They could just accidentally hit their left stick or the W key on the keyboard, and just the slightest centimeter step, and you will know, people will know exactly where you are. But when Dead Silence is equipped, you can run and gun around these maps a lot easier. And honestly, when you do have Dead Silence equipped, I like these maps a lot more than I did in the past. Because with Dead Silence, like I just said, you can maneuver these maps a lot easier. And the people who are camping on head glitches, you can flank them. You can find routes to get to them. Because you aren't being heard from a mile away. And then they just change to another window and just hold that angle because they know where you're coming from, and they gun you down. Dead Silence is pretty much a crutch. Well, I don't want to say perk because it's not a perk, but it's a crutch field order in this game. And it makes the flow of the game feel a lot better. So when they do come up with the next update for this game, there's some things that I really want to see changed with this game just in general. So the flow is a little bit better than what it previously is. Now, first off, obviously, the footsteps have to be lowered. They have to be lowered because then Dead Silence won't be a crutch perk, and then, you know, you don't have to run Dead Silence. You shouldn't be forced to run something just so you can move around the map. You know what I'm saying? The sound just has to be worked on a lot. Next up, Dead Silence needs to become a perk. Now, I don't know if they're ever going to do this because of the fact that the perk slots are pretty much already filled up. It would kind of be awkward for them to add it in because then they would have to add perks to all of the other categories as well. Now, as you guys obviously know, in the second perk spot, there is an extremely overpowered perk called Ghost. Now, everybody in the world knows what Ghost is in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, especially if you played the game. It is a crutch perk. You need to run this at all times, no matter what, because if you don't run this, you will be spotted on the UAV instantly, and you'll probably be pointed out instantly, because the majority of your teammates are probably running Ghost. So if they're all running Ghost and you're not, you will be the only red dot showing up on the minimap, making you the only target that everybody on the other team will want to get the most. So Ghost is a very crutch perk. But I was thinking, what if they decided to replace Ghost with the Dead Silence? What if Ghost became a field order and they put Dead Silence in the second perk slot and allowed you to use that as a 24/7 perk, so you're always silenced? I really do think this would be a fair trade-off, because I don't think they're going to be changing Ghost anytime soon. They are talking about changing the minimap, so red dots do appear on the minimap when you do shoot an unsilenced weapon. But for some reason, they decided to make Ghost the way that they made it, like they did in Black Ops 1. I don't know why they decided to bring this style of Ghost back. I don't think it's a good idea. It's not good for the meta of the game. But if they are going to keep it like this, I think Ghost would be much better if they kept it in the field order slot. That way, it would kind of even out the playing field of the field orders. So you have the choice of an ammunition box, or you can use the tac inserts, or you can go ahead and use stopping power rounds, or you can have Ghost. I think that would be a lot easier for people to choose from, because I think at the moment, the go-to field order is either the ammo or you run Dead Silence, because Dead Silence is that OP in this game. Now, with Ghost becoming a field order, it would be pretty useful, I think, because then you can have the option to turn on Ghost whenever a UAV is up in the air. So it's not going to be a 24/7 thing. It will be optional when you can get it. Now, this will definitely allow people to have more strategic thinking, because if they use their Ghost too soon, they won't have it for any upcoming UAV. Now, with this Ghost being activated, it'll probably last like, what, 20-30 seconds, or the duration of a UAV, which would be pretty nice, well, coming from a field order. But obviously, this won't completely fix the game, because then, as you guys know, you won't have Ghost all the time, and making that for stealthy players will be kind of complicated because there will be multiple UAVs popping off every single game. It's not like one person is going to get one UAV and that's all they're going to get. No, that's not the case. There will probably be 2 to 3 different UAVs, and if your Ghost does not replenish in the amount of time that another UAV comes up, then you will be showing up on the minimap, which takes away from the whole stealth aspect. So my question to you guys is if you think Ghost should be moved to the field order section and Dead Silence should be moved as a perk, or should they just leave it as it is with Dead Silence being a field order? Or do you think they should just add in Dead Silence as a perk? But how would they add it? That's my question. Where would they add this perk in to make it even, to make it an even playing field? Because right now, all the perks have an even amount of perks, and they're kind of balanced off in the sections that they're in. But if they add in Dead Silence, it's going to definitely affect how they manage their perk section. But let me tell you guys exactly what I want out of this game. I want to be able to run and gun, have a good time, and enable to actually run and gun, I'm going to have to stay off of the minimap, which I would like Ghost to work if I'm only running, which would make it a lot easier in my mind. And then on top of that, add in Dead Silence so it works all the time. But Dead Silence will not work all the time if it's just a field order. They would have to make it a perk. So do you guys personally think that they should bring in Dead Silence and make it a perk? And if they do make it a perk, what perk do you think that they should switch it out with? Like I said, me personally, I want to be mad if they just took Ghost out and made it a field order if they didn't want to change Ghost. That's only if they don't want to change Ghost. If they do decide to change Ghost and then make it so you have to run around, then by all means, it could stay easily. But if they do not want to change Ghost and they want to keep it in the exact same position that it is already in, then I think that they should just make it a field order. Because that's a pretty good field order if I could say so myself, because then you don't have to move at all. You could just call it in, you can continue to camp in the same spot. It would definitely work for a lot of campers who don't like to move. They could sit in the same head glitch for the whole game. Someone calls in a UAV, oh, look at that, let me put on my Ghost real quick. They can continue to camp in the same spot. You know, it would work out for them. Or maybe they should just make a different version of Ghost and make that as a perk. Maybe they should put the current Ghost that they have right now as a field order and then make a brand new version of Ghost where you have to move, allowing other aggressive players to actually have some fun with the game. But let me know how you guys feel, and also let me know how you feel about Call of Duty Modern Warfare in its current state. Do you agree with me that you think that the footsteps are the main issue of this game? Because seriously, I don't really think anything else is wrong. A lot of us are pointing fingers at the map design, which is a little rough here and there. A lot of us are pointing fingers at other aspects, overpowered weapons and stuff like that. But I honestly think at the core of the issue of this game, I think just the sound volume and not being able to use Dead Silence is one of the biggest issues of this game. Because you cannot run. If you run in this game, you are heard instantly. And like I said in the beginning of this video, if you're heard, they're not going to move. They're just going to wait for you to come to them because they know exactly where you are. So me personally, I think the main issue that we're having with this title is just the sound. If they just tune down the sound a little bit, bring Dead Silence back into this game, and adjust Ghost, I think that we will have a very solid game. And also change the minimap too, so people can't camp with unsilenced weapons in the back of the building all game long. Make them move or allow them to be spotted. One or the other. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. It really does mean the absolute world to me. If you enjoyed it and you're brand new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification button if you want to be notified on all of my recent uploads. Also, if you just enjoyed the video in general, make sure you leave a like, and if you hated it, you can always dislike. And by all means, if you want to chat with me or see any of my behind the scenes clips, go ahead and follow me over on Twitter at JbowenDaMan. If you want to catch me streaming, I'm over on Twitch at JbowenDaMan as well. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.